Hey, hello everybody. So I wanted to go through and do a little video about some accessories that I got with my Dulytek. Let's start out with this one right here. This one came with the machine, comes with a thank you coupon. This is a silicone mat for dealing with the resin from your essential oils, and then it comes with some pre-folded parchment paper to get you started if you didn't have any to begin with. And comes with this nice colorful kit right here, some dab tools, silicone collection piece right here, and some really nice stainless steel collection tools. It's pretty nice. So that all comes with the kit just right off the bat to get you started. So that's something to get you going. Now, if you're going to be saving this stuff, you might want to keep it here. What I like to do is add some terpenes. So what I will do is add some natural plant terpenes and the essential oils and combine it together. And I'll use a glass jar for that. I'm not recommending you do that. You need to do your own research. This is just for my own personal use. So here we go. That's what you get with the kit. And they have an offer, and I'm not sure if it's still valid or not, that you could leave a review, leave a social media post, do a video, all kinds of different things you could do to kind of let people know how you feel about the product. It's not saying it has to be positive. I don't have anything bad to say, so I pretty much have positive things to say about my experience with the product. So that's what you get to start with. And then I did an initial video about my experience, and then they have a in with the kit a website that's kind of part of the review program. And if they've discontinued it, I apologize, but there was a review program at one point. And so I did the video, and they sent a very nice kit to me. So let's go through what I got. These are kind of cold transfer plates right here. Two-piece set, very nice, says Dulytek on it. And what you do is you set that on top of your cold, and you want to kind of chill the essential oils a little bit to make them easier to peel off of the paper. So we'll have that cooling right there, and in a little bit we're going to actually show some pooling of resin with the products. So I chose, and they actually give you a choice of a whole bunch of different items. So I chose these because I saw a real value in that. I used to just do it on top of a cold pack with a baggie over it, but this is a lot more elegant and a lot better. Then I went ahead and went with another punch. So the punch you get as part of the kit does not come with a dowel, but it's still very nice, and you could cut your own wood dowel if you really wanted one. So this was the free punch. You might ask, why would I want another hammer punch? Well, let's say you're doing a couple different kinds of essential oils, and you don't want to clean between. So let's say you're doing 2 different essential oils, and what happens is the plant material will begin to kind of get caked on in here. It'll get caked on the end here. It gets caked on the end here. You just take some rubbing alcohol and clean it off. But if you want to do 2 different materials quickly, or let's say you had one kind of plant material you wanted to do, and you just wanted to have a dedicated press just for that so it doesn't get contaminated with other essential oils. Now I have another one, and I could do a wide variety of different plants with this one, and then I still have the other one to dedicate to a different kind of a plant. So that way you don't cross-contaminate your essential oils if you're trying to keep them separate. So that's really nice right there. Thank you very much. That's a very nice product, and then you guys know I love that thing. You look at the engineering and machining on that is really nice. And then I chose this guy right here. Foiled again. It's funny as I probably put on the tape myself. Alright, there we go. So this is a glass stamp for collecting. And please leave in the comments if you watch me using this and I'm not using it correctly. So I'm going to assume what I had been using was the stainless steel dabbing tools. So instead I'm going to use a glass press, and you kind of collect it off and use the glass instead. So we'll see how that works. And it's also a stamp, so when you collect everything real nice, you can go and make a nice little pressed button, which is probably what that's really for. I'm going to say that when you're done, I'm not even going to make a fool of myself, and the stainless steel tools are for the collecting. And then once you have a nice little ball, you can press that down real nice and make a nice button. We're going to go ahead and say that's what that is for. Please leave in the comments if you actually know, and you can educate me. Alright, there was that. And then this, oh man, this is super nice. Check this out. Isn't that beautiful? Look at how nice that is. I have tape all over me. Wow, look at this thing. So this is super, super nice. What do you get? If you didn't have one, you get your own little glass collection jar. Isn't that beautiful? And then you can also, if you're into mixing your own terpenene isolates in with the materials that you're making. And then this is really cool too. This is a thimble set. So the essential oils are obviously very sticky, and so rather than getting your fingers all dirty, you put this on your fingers and you don't make a mess of yourself. And then here you have a much more exotic collection tool. Very nice, right? Look how nice those are. Beautifully made. And then look at this really nice case. Beautiful. Anyway, so that is what you get. That's what I chose for the reviewer program. And I'd say that's a really nice feature. I don't know if the other machines have that option. It doesn't say you have to do a positive review. I didn't have anything negative to say, so I pretty much have positive things to say. So that is a really nice program and pretty smart on their part. So anyway, let's get down to it. Let's be smart and use part of our stuff here. We'll see how these work out right here, because I'm going to make a mess of myself otherwise, and we'll be wasting some material too. So we'll just get some scissors and cut that up right there. I have to excuse myself. I'm in my dirty sweatshirt for working in the garage. Alright, look at that. 1 pity, 2 pity, 3 pity, 4 pity, there you go. And another pity for the pity. Alright, now I'm all set. Got my little finger condoms on here, and I won't make a mess of myself. Alright, and here we have, I went ahead and already went to the trouble of pressing some stuff, so we don't have to go through that. We already did that in a previous video. Oop, I still had the puck in that one. We'll save that for later. So what actually, what I like to do with the puck after I'm done is I'll actually save them all up, and I'll make a tincture out of them, so that way you're not wasting anything. If there's any stuff in there that's worthwhile left over, I'll make a tincture out of it. Alright, so let's go over here and let's use some of this really nice stuff they sent me. Boop, boop, boom. What's going to be a perfect one? I think the little shovel is going to be perfect today. Alright, so what am I doing? Putting it on the plate and letting it cool down a little bit, because there is a magical thing to doing this, that you want it cold but not too cold. And you see it's almost feeling like glass now. So what I'll do, so now we'll put it here where it can warm up a little bit. And there's a magical, you see it? It's not not shattering like glass anymore. It's just the right temperature. And it begins to collect. And you see it's starting to get too cold again. This little transfer plates work so well. There we go. So what we'll do, we'll let this one warm up a little bit. We'll put it back down. So yeah, it's a careful kind of process of just the right temperature. It has to be cold, but not too cold. If it's too cold, then it kind of becomes almost like glass, and it'll kind of splinter and shatter all over the place, and you're going to have a big mess. But then if it's too warm, then it becomes a real sticky mess. So you see how it's almost like little glass pieces there? So what you almost have to do is let it warm up a little bit. So you're constantly kind of transferring back and forth between cold and not cold. And you see it's already starting to get a little sticky. So there's a magical just kind of process to go back and forth between the plate and not on the plate. And then when you don't feel any resistance and you kind of don't see anything left on the paper, you're done. See right there, collected a nice little bit. We'll just scrape that into the glass right there. Alright, we'll keep going. And I know what you're saying. You're like, there's a little plant material in there. I don't really care. I'm not worried about it. So what I will say to everybody out there, all the kids, do not dab on nails that you heat up with like a fire. There have been studies, and if you are dabbing at that high of a temperature, you are definitely killing yourself. So stop doing that. This is going to be used at a very careful temperature controlled, about 375, 400 degrees, and no higher. The higher you go, you begin to produce cancer-causing byproducts. If you do some research on dabbing and dabbing with myrcene, there's been some fantastic studies done. So it's already starting to get a little too cold, and you can start to feel it. It starts to feel, like you're shattering glass. So you let it warm up a little bit. You go back, and what I do is I fold it back and forth, and you see you're kind of folding a little ball together. And then you start to get too warm almost, and then it's going to be time to go back to the plate for a second. So anyway, I'm really clumsy here, so I'm sorry for the poor video work here if this is not looking great on your end. And then you see, you can hear it and feel it. It starts to get a little too cold, and you're going to start shattering, and it's going to start flying off the paper all over the place, and you're going to lose a lot. So you got to let it warm up a little bit, and then it'll start to feel a little too sticky. You see I'm going back and forth, and the ball is kind of collecting itself. So there we go. Super sticky. We'll call that one good. Might be a little bit here and there, but I think that's pretty good. One down. Right. I'm really enjoying this cold transfer plate. It's working very well. It's almost instantaneous. That's how cold it gets. So I'll tell you, I've been finding great success making my own little concoctions with different terpenene isolates. And I'm not going to recommend any to you. You can do your own research. If anybody has an allergic reaction, I don't want to be responsible, but do your own research. I have fairly badly herniated discs in my back. 2 different surgeons have said I'm an ideal candidate for surgery. They also said it's a fairly complicated surgery, about as complicated as it gets without actually installing metal in my back. So I'm a little scared, and as long as I'm walking, I'm gonna hold off on the surgery. So I still have a fair bit of pain most of the time. Sometimes they're okay, but every day has its moments. So I have found a lot of success with plant therapy. I used to take a ton of ibuprofen, and that's not good for you. The doctors are saying I gotta stop doing that. So I find this is just enough to get by and not have to take ibuprofen unless I'm really in a lot of pain. They also prescribe heavier stuff like muscle relaxers, which I definitely try to stay away from. There is one of the Heims, right? One of the Corys. With Corey Haim or Corey Feldman? There's Corey Haim. That's what did him in, was muscle relaxers. So you got to have a lot of respect for trying to avoid pharmaceuticals, because they'll kill you. There you go. So these are very small pucks I've been pressing. That's why there's not a lot of stuff produced in each one. And then also the quality of the plant material is, toward the lower end. So I think that's about enough. You get the idea. You put it on the plate, and then it almost instantly goes to the point where it feels a little bit like glass that's going to shatter. And then you bring it back off the cold until it starts to feel too sticky. And then you got to put it back on the cold plate. So efficient. Almost instantaneously it chills down your material to just the right temperature, and then it's ready to be removed from the cold. Yeah, look, that's already chilled down. It's a very efficient system. Alright, so I think this will do the last one. You don't need to see me do this all day long. But really happy with the accessory kit. That's a really nice extra feature. And you'll have to see if they still offer that program about the reviews. And so I went the extra mile because I have a YouTube channel. I figure I might as well, right? They're always starved for ideas to make decent videos that people will be interested in. And this is interesting, especially if you're dealing with substantial long-term pain issues. So this is what I did here. I'll show you this. I always put a second parchment on the outside because you see I had some bleed out. That would have made a nice mess on my plates, which I could have easily cleaned up with rubbing alcohol, but it's more important about not wasting the material. Yeah, these little silicone things are great because you get the stuff on your fingers and, oh man, it gets to be a mess. You know what? See, it starts to get sticky. Boom, onto the plate for a minute. Back off the plate. We're rolling. Look at this beautiful little glob that we got going here. Get that off of there. So it's really nice how it kind of feeds on itself. The glob helps pick it up. And with a higher temperature, you can see how much darker the material is than my first sets of videos. So depending on how light and the terpenene content, it will be the temperature you're going with. And put it back on the plate for a minute. Back off the plate. Just instantly up to the right temperature to be collecting. So we'll stop the video in a second here. That's real cool, huh? And I got a lot more to go. This is just a few pucks. So what you're seeing is each one of these represents a single puck with 2 pressings. So I cut my parchment to just the right size where I can do a puck here and a puck there. So that's the first pressing, second pressing, or maybe it was that way and that was first and second. Doesn't really matter to me. Because it's all going to get mixed together. So anyway, I think we'll leave it there. Really nice. I hadn't used the product for probably a month or so, and it fired right up reliably. You know, sat through, and it's in the garage in the winter, and no problem firing right back up. I want to do a video and show all the beautiful accessories that they sent me under the reviewer program. So if you want to research and see if they still have that program, it's a real nice extra. They give you a real nice beginner accessory kit, and then if you do, I think it's either a review, so if you bought it on Amazon and did a review, that would qualify. If you do a video on YouTube, and I think you need at least 2 likes, and a social media post with 2 likes. So it's not hard to do, and I went the extra mile because I think it's a really nice product. And I have a YouTube channel, so you're always starved for interesting content, and I think this is interesting content. So there you go. We'll wrap it up right here. Really happy. Really nice accessories to make the collection a lot easier. So yeah, feel happy. You just kind of go back and forth between putting it on the cold until it feels like it's almost beginning to shatter, and then take it back off. And when it starts to feel too sticky, you can put it back on the cold, and that helps release it off of the parchment paper. So anyway, real nice simple system. You see how easy it is, how rewarding it is. You see how nice that is? So you just start to collect real nice globs. So there you go. So we'll wrap it up right there. Just a little bit of work right here, and I have enough material. I'll add some terpenene isolate to that, and then make an aromatherapy device out of it. So there you go. Add some terpenene isolate, which is basically an alcohol which dissolves everything down to a liquid and nothing else. People are getting themselves into a lot of trouble adding a bunch of extra stuff that doesn't need to be there. Anyway, let's close out this video with saying this is not advice for you to do anything. This is just what I'm doing. Please consult with a doctor before you do anything. And I think your doctors will try to prescribe you very, very powerful things, which are probably very, very bad for you and even worse. So anyway, talk to you later.